Ladies, I'm going to say something that might sting. You might be uglier than you think, and I don't mean just on the outside. If you're over 60, you must hear this, because being unattractive as you age isn't always about wrinkles or gray hair. It runs far deeper. In fact, I'm about to reveal 12 real signs you might be an ugly older woman. Even if people are too polite to tell you, watch until the end, because if you recognize more than 4 of these in yourself, it's time for a serious change. And please, like this video, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which number surprised you the most. 1. You're bitter about the past. Look, I've been there. I've sat at kitchen tables with women who spend hours rehashing what their ex-husbands did in 1987. They relive every betrayal, every mistake their kids made, every job they didn't get, every pound they gained. And the worst part, they think it's harmless, just venting. But darling, bitterness ages you like nothing else. It creeps into your posture, your eyes, even the tone of your voice. People can feel it like secondhand smoke. It doesn't just make you unpleasant to be around, it makes you unrecognizable from the woman you once were. Forgiveness isn't about letting anyone off the hook. It's about freeing yourself from dragging that heavy old suitcase of hurt everywhere you go. Want to look more radiant overnight? Let go of that grudge you've been nursing since Nixon was in office. 2. You never compliment other women. I once sat at a community center lunch next to a woman wearing a beautiful brooch, simple, elegant, classy, and I noticed the lady across from us glanced at it 3 times, clearly admiring it, but she never said a word. Why? Because for some women, complimenting another woman feels like losing a point. They'd rather bite their tongue than admit, "You look nice today," as if someone else shining somehow makes them dimmer. That's insecurity, plain and simple. And it shows. Ugly isn't about your clothes or your hair. It's the energy you bring into a room. A kind, confident woman builds others up. She makes everyone around her feel lovely because she knows her own worth. If your first instinct is to withhold praise, it's time to ask yourself why. 3. You talk but don't listen. Now, this one hits home. I had to learn this lesson the hard way. There was a time when every time someone tried to tell me something, I'd cut them off with, "Oh, that reminds me of when or, "Well, you think that's bad. Let me tell you what happened to me." I thought I was relating, but really I was dominating, and the people around me started to check out. Listening is a lost art. I'm talking about really listening, not planning what you're going to say next, not waiting for your turn, just being still and hearing someone, especially our children, our friends, even the woman behind the pharmacy counter. You want to be magnetic, make people feel heard. You want to be repellent, make everything about you. One is beauty, the other is loneliness with lipstick. 4. You stopped taking care of yourself. Years ago, let me be clear. I don't care if you have crow's feet or silver roots. I've got both, and I earn them. But there's a difference between aging and giving up. I know women who haven't worn real clothes in years. They live in stained pajamas, don't brush their hair, and say things like, "Well, who am I trying to impress?" Wrong question. The question is, how do you want to feel about yourself when you pass a mirror? Taking care of yourself isn't about impressing others. It's about self-respect. It's about showing the world and yourself that you still care. Moisturize your face. Polish your shoes. Wear a color that lifts your mood. It's not vain. It's vital. 5. You think men are the enemy. Now, I know some of you are about to click off here, but stick with me. I've been divorced. I've been cheated on. I've been ghosted before. Ghosting had a name. But I don't hate men. And you shouldn't either. When you carry around phrases like, "All men want is sex. Men are all the same. I don't need a man for anything." You're not empowering yourself. You're walling yourself in. It's perfectly okay not to want a relationship. But if your attitude is soaked in resentment or disgust, it radiates from you. It shows in your posture, your facial expressions, your tone. And here's the real truth. There are plenty of kind, lonely, mature men out there who would love a good conversation, a walk in the park, or just someone who doesn't look at them like they're the enemy. Open your heart again, even just a crack. It'll soften your face more than any cream ever could. 6. You always assume the worst in people. I once knew a woman who, when you brought her a pie, would say, wonder what she wants from me. When her daughter called, she'd whisper, she's only being nice because she needs money. Sound familiar? Assuming the worst isn't caution. It's rot. It turns your soul sour, and it turns you into the very person others try to avoid. Yes, we've lived long enough to know people aren't perfect, but assuming every gesture is fake, every smile is a trick, and every favor is a trap, that's not wisdom. That's fear in disguise. And fearful women often come across as angry, controlling, and yes, ugly. Try this instead. Assume good intentions until proven otherwise. It might just change your entire world and your reflection in the mirror. 7. You gossip about other women your age. Let me tell you something I've learned after 70 years on this earth. Gossip is the perfume of the insecure. And let me tell you, it stinks. I know older women who will tear down their own friends for sport. She's gained weight. She's dating again at her age. I heard her son doesn't even talk to her anymore. What you say about other women says more about you than it ever will about them. You think others don't notice, but trust me, they do. And they wonder what you say when they're not around. Ugly isn't just physical, it's behavior. If your idea of a good time is picking apart someone else's life over coffee, you're not bonding. You're broadcasting your bitterness. Beautiful older women lift each other up. Ugly ones, they compete in a race no one's watching. 8. You use age as an excuse to be rude. Oh, I just tell it like it is. I'm too old to sugarcoat things. That's just how I am. Deal with it. Sound familiar? That's not honesty, sweetheart. That's bad manners in a wig. I once saw an older woman cut in line at the post office, bark at a young clerk, then say, "Well, I'm old. I've earned it." No, what you've earned is a reputation for being unpleasant. There's a dangerous myth that age gives us permission to abandon kindness. But real wisdom isn't bluntness. It's knowing when to speak, how to speak, and when to stay silent. You want respect. Don't demand it by being harsh. Earn it by being gracious. Old age doesn't give you a free pass to be nasty. It gives you the opportunity to be your most elegant self. 9. You haven't laughed, really laughed, in years. Do you remember the last time you laughed so hard your belly hurt? The kind of laugh that makes your eyes water and your soul feel lighter? Or have you become the kind of woman who frowns at everything, complains about today's music, rolls your eyes at young people, and finds fault in everything from the weather to the way someone chews? Let me tell you, joy is magnetic. It's what makes someone shine, no matter their wrinkles. I once met a woman in her 80s who laughed at her own bad hearing. She made jokes about her walker. She told me, "I can't control my bladder, but I can control my sense of humor." And she was beautiful, because laughter is the fountain of youth that money can't buy. If you've stopped laughing, you haven't aged, you've fossilized. 10. You let bitterness twist your face without realizing it. You might think you look fine. Hair done. Clothes nice. But let me ask you this. What does your resting face look like? I know that sounds funny, but it matters. Because after decades of frowning, sneering, judging, and sighing, your face settles. The muscles stay there. The lines dig in. And suddenly, you walk around looking like you just bit into a lemon, and didn't like the tree it came from. I had a friend take a candid photo of me once, and I was shocked. I looked angry, and I wasn't even mad. But that's what my face had become when I wasn't thinking about it. Check yourself in the mirror sometime when you're alone. Relax your face. What do you see? Beauty isn't in the makeup. It's in the energy you carry, and that shows up even when you're not speaking a word. 11. You act like life is over ***. This one breaks my heart. I know women who've stopped living before their heart ever gave out. They stop learning, stop dreaming, stop doing anything new. They sit in the same chair, watch the same news, and wait for the same day to repeat itself. And then they say things like, well, I'm just old. It's too late for me. That ship has sailed. But the truth is, you don't look old because of your age. You look old because you've given up. Do something new. Take a painting class. Learn how to use a smartphone. Go on a date. Start a silly YouTube channel like this old lady here. You're not done until you decide you are. Ugly doesn't come from gray hair. It comes from stagnation. Keep moving. Keep growing. Keep living. That's how beauty stays alive, even past 90. 12. You constantly compare yourself to younger women. Let me give it to you straight. You will never look 25 again. And guess what? That's fine. But if every time you scroll social media or watch TV, you say, look at her tight skin. She doesn't know how lucky she is. Or, men only want young women. You're feeding a monster that will devour your self-worth. You become bitter, jealous, and yes, ugly. Beauty isn't reserved for the young. It's just different at our age. It's wisdom. It's peace. It's presence. Number 23-year-old on Instagram can fake that. And deep down, they know it. They're still chasing what you've already learned. Don't compete. Embrace your version of beauty. And stop comparing your life to someone who hasn't even lived theirs yet. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what's one ugly habit you've seen in others or yourself that you're ready to let go of? And don't forget to sign up for my Savvy Senior newsletter, where I share raw, real talk and uplifting stories just like this every single week. Link below. You're not too old. You're just getting started. Sparkling Heart.